Welcome aboard once again, casual gamers. We are playing Airport CEO, and in this video we're going to be talking about the next stages of your airport, and that's probably going to be things like staff and budgeting and getting some airport services like fuel up and running. So this is part 2 of the series of building your first airport, and we're starting to move along. We've built a runway, we've connected the taxiway, built some stands, some aircraft stands here, opened them up for general aviation. We can now start to make a little bit of money from some planes coming in the door. They want fuel, we need to sell it to them. We need staff. I think we should start by firing a bunch of people, because you really need to go into your operations to save on your money. And I have 94 contractors sitting around and they're not doing anything. So I'm going to dismiss all of them but a dozen. Save a lot of money in labor just sitting around. Only have a couple things that need to be built right now. Going to be adding on more shortly. Now, one of the first things you're going to want to probably do is build some staff rooms. I can't even do much with the staff right now besides build a desk and a room and a zone. So let's get into how these work. A staff zone is an area that only your workers will go into, wherever you build it. So let's take this. I'm going to keep this a front way. Here's probably like a walkway. And so we're going to run down, I don't know, maybe it's going to be a huge staff area. And we'll eventually give them their own security check-in. And now we'll build some offices within here. Now they need doors. I'm going to make sure I put these are going to be bigger offices here, so let's put one here and here, here and here, there and there, and these ones will make more private. Whoops. There we go. And then we'll make them stand out and give them their own floor. We'll make this end more the executive side. Make this a little different. Now we're going to need to give them all desks here, because they need places to work. Rotate this around. Oh, must be placed inside of the staff room. See that? I have to build a room first, so it kind of doesn't let me mess up. You don't want to build just one giant staff room. You actually want to make sure you do this separated off by room for efficiency purposes here. And now what I can do is I'll click on this, I'll clear everybody, and I'll make this the CEO's office. And I will clear this and I'll make this my CFO, because that's who I was hired. And I'll clear this and I'll allow this to be people in that ranking order. And over here, we'll get rid of the other ones. Great. And now let's actually build some of these desks we wanted to. These are going to be places people are going to work. They're cubes. Yep, you're looking at them. They're cubicles. And I like to decorate them a little bit. We're going to give these big guys palm tree. Why not? We'll even put one in each of these rooms. They're big. I made some big rooms here. Now I'm probably going a little overbuild here. I realize I'm going way bigger than I need to. This is most likely because I'm showing you guys what's going on as opposed to being real cautious, but we'll get into budget here in just a few minutes. Gotta finish the staff room here. Now what I also need to do real quick is you also need to build a break room. So I probably should have made one of these rooms a break room. You know what I could do right now? I could just make one of these first ones a room that has both. You can do both. There we go. We'll just add a couple of seating spots here for everybody. Put a table there. Break room. And these guys are probably going to need their own break room. We'll even give them their own little seating area here. Check this out. We're going to give them their own little meeting area. That way there's places to sit here as well. It'd be great if they had a few more things like a water cooler or something like that, but okay, while we're at it and we're building rooms, let's show you how to build a bathroom. We'll build some staff bathrooms real quick. Now bathrooms have to have their own room. So when you go to bathroom, it creates your own custom zone for these bathrooms. And I need to build this one in 2. Better do this way. And now I can go to the bathroom and create a separate room for each of these. I have to make sure I give them all a door. Those other ones already have a door. I'm going to change this one to be female, or this can be the male because it's smaller. This can be the female only, and we're going to change this to be employee only. And we'll make this either or, but we're going to make this only executive. to. This is basically an executive-only bathroom because the only people are allowed are staff and executives. These ones are only staff, but everybody can come and use them. Now you have to give them a place to do their business. So let's set this up here. And then you need a sink. Put a sink there. It's hard to see. You kind of got to zoom in to see what's going on. And then there's the air dryer. Oh, I missed that one right there. I see. Another sink here. That way we have two. And zhuzh up the restrooms a bit here. Adding a plant. And now let's give them a nice little distinction for the executives and for everybody else. And now the last thing you need to do with your bathroom that I almost forgot, and you always need to do, is you have to open the room. You actually have to click on it and click open room. That is probably the number one reason why people are not using the restroom. As soon as you do that, and something's built. Look, this guy's already trying to get in here, right? There's just nothing built yet. That's because I only have a dozen workers. I have enough workers to do right now. Let's add a few more. Now, while we're on the subject of bathrooms, we're just going to build some more real quick because we're going to need some for the public. And this is before they get to the terminal, so I don't need to go crazy over here. Oh, must be placed in a bathroom. Must be able to get into the restroom. Hair dryer, hand dryers, and everybody needs sinks. Maybe we need to open them. And we'll make them specific for now. And I might build a lot more here, depending on how many people are filling these up. Okay, well, there's some offices and some restrooms. There's some basics taken care of there. Now that we have that coming into play, might be a good time to get some staff in here. I'm going to hit tab, and then we're going to go into staff, and you can see I got nobody. I got nobody. We'll go over here to applicants, and we're going to need to find some qualified people. You can train them up, but I find it's best to just hire and train a little bit versus training a lot, because training is expensive. So anybody that's yellow or red, I'm just going to drop right away. They're not very... I'm just going to try to find some more qualified... Whoops, that was a good person. Getting ahead of myself. Alright, so we're going to try to find a COO and a CFO. This guy's doing real good. We'll get him. That's a really well-trained janitor. That's a perfect CFO. I'll keep him for the entire game. Look at that. Get rid of this admin. I need at least 2 administrators, if not 3, because we're going to need to do some research here, and those require administrators. We'll get 1 service tech, and oh, I see a janitor, real high skill level there. There we go, get them. Great. We go to our staff overview. I recommend you always train everybody up to their max. Makes them happy. They're going to run efficiently. You can create shifts once you get a bigger team. It's kind of necessary if you want to run at night. Okay, now those people should start to actually show up and arrive. Since these are not going to be in use for a while, I'm going to shut them down to save some money. Alright, well there's our staff. We got some airplanes coming in. We've been spending a lot of money, and you actually been getting emails here that tell you how your airport is doing. Now that you have people like a CFO, you're going to start to get emails, and that will break down our budget. Where are we at in this? Oh, I need to place a fence gate. Okay, yeah, then move this forward. Because I just put a fence all the way around it, you don't really need gates as much right now, because I just went crazy and went all the way around the airport because I don't have to mess with these things. So it just really literally wants me to build 1 gate to move forward. And you know, eventually these gates will be needed by my workers, so I will just build some real quick, but not really needed. Alright. They're officially congratulated on our fully functional airport. Awesome. Now, they say you should build some refueling services, so that's perfect. But the reason I did it in the order I did is because I want to show you the research. So let's go into operations, R&D projects, and this is how you research new technologies. Commercial license, it's going to unlock things like the hangar, the boarding desk, your security check-ins, a lot. It does a lot. Before you do that, you probably want to fuel your jets with at least the A1 fuel, and I recommend just doing the fuel trucks. It only takes 6 hours, and just go straight to those because they're so much faster. And then program 1 is unlocking maintenance costs, and then here's your helicopter pads. And this allows concrete and other things like that. So these are also great things to run. But while we're here, let's get this jet fuel going. It was only going to take 1 hour. We're going to assign that. And then you have to remember to put on some administrators. I only got 1 right now I can add. That's all I need. Great. Now, what they're asking me to build here is the security checkpoint that connects the service roads to the public roads. So under infrastructure, you got this vehicle checkpoint, and there's 2 sides of it. You can see this bottom side here, they're perfectly squares, and you have the public road, and at the top you have the rounded edges of those squares, and they have a wrench showing that is the service side. So once you notice those 2 things, it's easy to decide which way you need to rotate this road around for your gate. So I'm going to put 1 here, and it's going to recommend I do a second gate. So we're going to extend this public road. We'll go from here, and we're just going to extend that a little ways. And then we're going to want to connect our service road from up here. So we're going to extend that down. And see the 2 wrenches there. I can put it right on top of it, or I can put a little leeway here. Public road, connect that. Service road, connect that. And there we go. Now I have to connect this side of the service road. Service road. Most excellent. Now that's going to bring in my service vehicles. And did that? Yep, it did advance my introduction tutorial here. Now it says you have to place a depot or service lot. You got to give your vehicles a place to park. So under infrastructure, actually this is under the aircraft infrastructure, and there's your service vehicle parking lot, which is less expensive. It's only $4,000 versus the $10,000 of a vehicle depot, but the vehicle depot can hold many more vehicles. And they're actually smaller. Like, look, here's how big that is compared to how small that is. So it's also a footprint size. I have plenty of money right now. We're doing okay on it. We're just burning through it, but I'm going to put this right here because I want these to be very close. And I'm going to put one on the other side as well. I want these to be really close to where they're going to end up going. Now this is a good time to add that service. So let's add the fuel service here. I paused it. Built my vehicle depot. That's great. We're going to now need some aircraft infrastructure, and we need a fuel depot. And this is where the fuel trucks come and pick up, and this is also where it gets dropped off from the public. So I'm going to put that over here a little farther away from my entrance. And we're going to create our own service road. Just for this. There's gas. jet. Just finish that route there. Okay. Now, that'll allow the fuel trucks to just get their fuel, and they'll hang out here, and then they'll go refuel the planes. We just have to wait for those to finish to build. Alright, yay! Now that that's there, we have to purchase a fuel truck and sign a contract. So we're going to need to get a fuel service under contract. So we go back to our economy tab and we look at offered contracts. We now can see our aviation fuel. And somebody on my channel gave me a great tip. This is a great tip. We're going to try it out. Pick one of your suppliers, right? What is this guy offering at? 135. Okay, well, we're going to reject that. And what are you offering at? 156. We're going to reject that too. We're going to reject all these. And they said, give it a moment. This is great. Let's do this again. No, no, no. Let's see if they come back with better negotiated prices. 130. Wow, that's great. Great tip. Perfect. Okay, great. We're going to sign that. Awesome. So now we're going to also need to get some fuel trucks. Go under vehicles. And we have to go to purchased vehicles, because we do not have any otherwise. And here's the 2 fuel trucks. And how much they cost and how much they deliver. You know, I'm just going to do this instead. We're just going to go to operations. We're going to go to the R&D projects, and we're just going to unlock these Maverick fuel trucks. They will only take a moment. Only have one administrator available for some reason. Let's hire another one. You look pretty good. I want 3. And fully train you guys. There we go. Now we're talking. Alright, that will not take long. Let's see if we got any fuel delivered yet. Nope, not yet. Oh, here it comes. Check it out. Spend that money. Alright, while we're talking about spending money, let's see here. We got that economy report now that we have our CFO. So here's our income. Here's our total expenses. You know, we lost money. And we lost a good portion of that because of construction. That's okay. We can look at the economy right now where cash flow is really bad. But that's because we're buying fuel. But don't worry, it's going to turn around. And if I stop spending money on construction, this airport could actually be profitable pretty quickly. And to do that, let's add a few more aircraft stands. Now, aircraft stands are expensive. You know, they're 30 grand a piece, but one, it will let me get a few more airplanes on the ground, and then I can offer them fuel services here as soon as these trucks are done. Let's see, did they finish? They did. Great. So now we can go to our vehicles. See, that didn't take long at all. By the time I even just got things done, there's my vehicles. Purchase vehicles. Here's the ones we want. The Mavericks. They're just a little bit more money. And they're a lot more efficient. So we're going to order 2 of each. 1 for each side for right now. see what comes of those. There's our new product has arrived. Here they come. Wee woo! All right. They're gonna get some gas, and they're all gonna go park. Well, they all went to one spot. Look at that. That's typical. But that's not what I want. So now we're going to go into the vehicles, and I can see my vehicles. This is great. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to set the color, and I'm going to make these guys red for fuel. And you can save it by right-clicking in one of these color spaces. And then I can go into this other truck, hit set color, and then I can click on this, and you notice this just must be a bug. It doesn't go to the color of the truck right away. Typically, sometimes you have to click off of it and click back onto it, right? You get it there. That was working. Now it's not, so they'll fix that, I'm sure. Same thing with these ones. We're going to make these ones black. Actually, I can just do that black truck right, that pick right there, and set this one. There we go. Now you can assign where they are by clicking assign and clicking on it, or you can go into here, clicking on the truck and clicking on this button here, assign to parking structure. So I move one of each over, and they're going to go over here. Hooray! Now the last thing I'm going to need to do is turn on that we are offering fuel services. So you have to come over here and check these two things under your turnaround services. Otherwise, you'll never sell fuel. So that's the last step. And now, when some of these new planes come in, doubt it's this guy. Oh yeah, look at that. He already has it. He has requested service fuel, and look, there's our fuel truck. Came right up. So I bet this guy's going to want fuel too. We'll pay better attention this time. Right away. Requested service fuel. This guy's requested service has been checked marked. It's green. That's great. That means he's got his fuel service. He's going to leave happy. We made some money. Just pumping it. Great. I think we're spending all our money on fuel reservicing, but that's okay. We'll catch up here pretty quick. Because right here is a profitable airport. Now that I just stopped spending money, I have airplanes coming in, we have fuel being provided. We just need to spend a little more time and get a report and see how much money we're making when we don't spend it on construction. And we'll just time warp here a little bit, and there we go. Look at that. We now know the basics of the airport operation, and that completes our tutorial. Hooray! Now this is where they're like, time to build an actual terminal and get going with commercial airlines. Okay, there just after 9 o'clock we get our financial report for a day without construction. So we can see how are we actually doing here on our cost, where our income was $169,000. Our expenditures were this. We still had some construction costs in there, just a little bit. But our balance was $62,000, excluding construction. So it looks like we still had some construction costs in there, but we're making money. All right, we're at positive cash flow. We're up to $63,000 again. So it only took a day or so and game time, and got plenty of money again to get going. On expansion, like another taxiway. Actually, I need the foundation. Like another aircraft stand. More planes, more dollars. The next thing it wants us to do is to create a regional airport and expand into the commercial airline. So this is a great place to stop. Part 2 of our new airport series here in the game Airport CEO. My name's Red, the Casual Gamer. If you guys enjoyed this video, well, you know which buttons to push. Good luck out there, everybody, and we'll see you next time.